Hi, my name is John and I'm going to be demonstrating this 120 watt SunJack solar panel for you today. This panel comes in this really nice carrying case, which is padded for its protection. It's also water and weather resistant. It's got a Velcro closure handle on it, and it's got a waterproof zipper all the way around the perimeter. On this side you've got another compartment to store cables that come with it and various other accessories. So let's get this thing set up and we'll see how it works. I'm going to be demonstrating this panel with a couple of different devices here. First of all, I've got a couple of different USB power banks. I've got an Asus laptop computer and also the Allpowers R600 portable power station. So the SunJack solar panel comes out of the carrying case like this, and on the back of it, it's got an additional compartment. These are all of the cables it comes with. It comes with 4 aluminum carabiners, so you can hang this up on a tree or on the side of a motor vehicle. It also has a collection of DC adapters to charge laptop computers and other similar devices, which I'm going to use this one here today. This is the main cable. You've got 2 MC4 plugs, which connect to the output cable on the solar panel itself. In addition to the primary MC4 output cable, the charge controller on this solar panel also has a 60 watt USB Type-C power delivery port and also 2 separate USB Type-A sockets. This panel is constructed of a thin but semi-rigid material. It's 100% weatherproof. And as you can see here, it's a tri-fold design, so it opens up like this. And on the back side of it, we've got 3 legs that are held secure by these snaps, which open up like a kickstand to support the panel while it's being used. Now it's the middle of the day here, so the sun is almost directly overhead. So I'm going to lay this panel down flat on the ground after I get the cables connected, and we're going to demonstrate how it works. So I'm going to plug in the MC4 cable. Real simple. Red to red is positive to positive. Black to black is negative to negative. And then we're going to run that cable all the way up to this table here, and we're going to plug in some devices to charge. So I'm going to start by plugging the XT60 cable directly into the R600 right here. But first, let's turn it on to see what our current state of charge is. You can see here the display is showing that it's currently at only 5% charge. So let's get this hooked up and give it a moment. Okay, that's plugged in. And now it is registering. You can see here it's still climbing, but we're up to about 72 watts and climbing still. Now what's interesting about the R600 here is this not only shows you your input, but it also tells you approximately how long this would take to charge to 100%. So right now from 5%, it takes approximately 4 hours to get up to 100%. Right now, the SunJack panel is outputting 75 watts directly to this. So we're going to leave that in there a minute. We're also going to plug in some other devices to test that out as well. So I just changed the position of the SunJack panel from laying flat on the ground to more of an upright position, which is supported by the built-in stand legs on the back like this. Now it's pointed more directly at the sun. The position and orientation of the solar panel is very important. I started out with it laying flat on the ground, and I just propped it up using its built-in kickstands. And you can see here now, just by making that little adjustment, we've gone from 72 to 73 watt input up to now 95 to 96 watts. And it's also reduced the charge time of this R600 by an hour. It's down to 3 hours to get it up to 100%. So we can see here that the charge rate is climbing. We started out at 5%, now it's up to 7%. So now let's plug in a couple of additional devices to the SunJack panel to see how it handles them. So I've got the Asus laptop up and running here, and as of right now it's running off of its battery. And you can see here that the battery is currently at 13%. So I'm going to plug the laptop directly into the SunJack panel. This is the adapter that I will be using for that. Let's get it hooked up. The output cable from the SunJack panel, not only does it have the XT60 connector, which is charging the the power station. It also has an Anderson type plug and also a 5521 DC plug. So this is the plug I'm going to plug into here. And then I'm going to plug that directly into the computer. You can see how this computer goes from battery power mode to plugged in mode when I plug in the solar panel power lead. You can see right there how it says plugged in. You can see it here also. So the computer is charging. So the computer is charging, and in that little moment you can see that the battery percentage has increased by 1%, and it also tells you here the approximate length of time to be fully charged, 2 hours and 46 minutes. In addition to charging power stations and laptops and so forth, there are a couple of other ways which the SunJack panel can charge smaller devices, so I'm going to show you that right now. Using the additional ports at the back of the charge controller, I'm going to plug in a USB Type-C cable. I'm going to plug in 3 different power banks directly into the panel. You can see this one's charging. It's currently at 50%. It's got a digital display, so that's how we know. This one's plugged directly into the USB Type-C port on the panel, which has a maximum output of 60 watts. And I'm going to just plug this one here, and so you can see it's showing an electrical input right here, currently at 37%. And then last but least, this one does not have a digital display, but it has the 3 LEDs, so you can see that it's charging. So that's 3 additional devices that I can plug in and charge simultaneously. This could be a phone, a drone, or any device that is chargeable through USB. We can actually see here how much output we are getting from the Type-A ports. I've plugged in these neat little USB Type-A volt and ammeters, and so this one is running to one of the power banks. As you can see here, we're getting an output of 5 volts and anywhere from 0.49 to 0.50 amps. And this is the other one going to the white power bank, and we're getting a consistent 4.83 volts and anywhere from 0.41 to 0.49 amps. So of course, obviously that will take a little bit longer to charge these two. But look, this one's already gone up to 54 again. And remember, I've got 3 power banks plugged into this SunJack panel simultaneously, in addition to the R600, which, turn the screen on again, you can see we're getting a consistent 72 watts right now. The laptop, it's no longer charging, and that's probably because the voltage required to charge it has dropped because of all these different devices sharing the panel. But guys, the performance of this SunJack panel, it's fantastic. We've got 5 devices plugged in here to the SunJack panel, and this is working very well. So that means 5 devices sharing the energy output from that single solar panel. Now I should point out that the voltage going into the laptop computer has more than likely dropped to the point where, as you can see here, it is no longer charging. It's gone back to running on battery power. But we're still getting 71 watts of output into the R600. That's all while I'm charging 3 power banks simultaneously. This one, which is plugged into the power delivery Type-C port on the panel, is doing exceptionally well. It's only been a minute and it's gone from 50 to 53%, so that one's charging very quickly. These here are plugged into the standard USB Type-A ports back there, so they're charging, just not as quickly. The performance of this SunJack 120 watt panel is fantastic. You've seen how it can charge multiple devices at once. The performance of it is second to none, and I highly recommend it for anybody who's doing car camping, off-the-grid camping, even for use as a backup home power supply to power your critical devices at home. Highly recommended. That concludes this demonstration and review of the SunJack 120 watt solar panel. Thanks for watching.